A secret that banks and credit card companies doesn't want you to know. Enjoy your life without the burden of debt. These are the typical advertisement from the debt relief companies. According to CNBC report in 2022, the average US household with debt now owns over $150,000, or more than 15 trillion together. Majority of the people nowadays suffer from the burden of debt and overwhelming with financial issues, especially for those who found that they are just not making progress on their debt, no matter how hard they try. In order to break free of this financial burden, we will consult debt relief companies and look into the debt forgiveness option. Looking for tools can change the terms or amount of the debt, so our life can get back on the right track more quickly. But debt relief programs are not the right solution for everyone, and it is important to understand what the consequences might be. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we will talk about the truth of the debt relief, understanding what the debt relief options are, what the consequences are, how it would impact your credit score and your wallet, and which one should be the right fit for your situation. So, let's begin. Debt relief option could be wiping the debt out altogether in bankruptcy, getting changes in your interest rate or payment schedule to lower your payments, or persuading creditors to agree to accept less than the full amount owed. When you should seek debt relief, consider bankruptcy, debt management, or debt settlement. When this is true, you have low hope of repaying unsecured debt, like credit cards, medical bills, personal loans, within 5 years, even if you take extreme measures to cut your living cost. Everything has its pros and cons. When it comes to debt relief, before starting to look at our options, we should be aware that debt relief can make things worse. The debt relief industry includes scammers who are eager to take what little money you have. Many people who enter debt relief programs fail to complete them. You could end up with debts that are even bigger than when you started. However, debt relief may give you the new start or the breathing room you need to finally make real progress. Be sure you understand and verify these points before entering any agreement. What you need to qualify, what fees you need to pay, which creditors are being paid, and how much it is. If your debt is in collections, make sure you understand who owns the debt, so payments go to the right agency, and the tax implication. Speaking about tax, the IRS might see the deducted debt amount as part of the taxable income. Let's see relief through the debt management plans. A debt management plan allows you to pay your unsecured debts, typically credit cards, in full, but often at a reduced interest rate or with fees waived. You make a single payment each month to a credit consulting agency, which distributes it among your creditors. Credit consignors and credit card companies have long-standing agreements in place to help debt management clients. Your credit card accounts will be closed, and in most cases, you'll have to live without credit cards until you complete the plan. Debt management plans themselves do not affect your credit scores, but closing accounts can hurt your scores. Once you have completed the plan, you can apply for credit again. Missing payments can knock you out of the plan though, and it is important to pick an agency accredited by the National Foundation for Credit Consulting or the Financial Consulting Association of America. Even then, make sure you understand the fees and what alternatives you may have for dealing with debt. Second, relief through debt settlement plans. Debt settlement is a financial game and usually a bad alternative to bankruptcy. It is not recommended to the vast majority of people. Bankruptcy is most always a better option. Debt settlement is a last resort for those who face overwhelming debt but cannot qualify for bankruptcy. Debt settlement companies typically would ask you stop paying your creditors and instead put the money in an account they control. Each creditor is approached as the money accumulates in your account and you fall further and further behind on payments. Fear of getting nothing at all may motivate the creditors to accept a smaller lump sum offer. and agree not to pursue you for the rest. Not paying your bills can result in collection costs, penalty fees, and potentially legal action against you, and for which you need to hire a lawyer. Debt settlement stops long of that while you are still negotiating. Expect at least 4 to 6 months before the settlement offers begin, depending on how much you owe. The process could take 24 months, and the continued late payments further damage your credit score. You can attempt to settle a debt yourself, or you can hire a professional. The debt settlement business is riddled with bad actors, though. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the National Consumer Law Center, and the Federal Trade Commission caution consumers in the strongest possible terms. Some of those companies also advertise themselves as debt consolidation companies. However, they are not. Debt consolidation is something you can do on your own, and it will not damage your credit. Debt relief through bankruptcy. There is little point in entering a debt settlement or debt management plan if you are not going to be able to pay as agreed. We recommend talking with a bankruptcy attorney first. Initial consultations are often free. If you don't qualify, you can move on to other options. The most common form of bankruptcy, Chapter 7, can erase most credit card debt, unsecured personal loans, and medical debt. It can be done in 3 or 4 months if you qualify. What you should know: it won't erase taxes owed or child support obligations, and a student loan is highly unlikely to be forgiven. It will decimate your credit scores and stay on your credit report for up to 10 years. Even as you restore your credit history, there is no small thing, because poor credit history can affect your eligibility for certain jobs, your chances of getting an apartment lease, and how much you pay for a car insurance. When your credit is already bad, a bankruptcy may allow you to rebuild your credit much sooner than continuing to try to repay. And please keep in mind, if you have used a co-signer, your bankruptcy filing will make the co-signer solely responsible for the debt. If debts continue to pile up, you cannot file another Chapter 7 bankruptcy for 8 years. It might not be the right option if you would have to give up a property you want to keep. The rules vary by state. Typically, certain kinds of property are exempt from bankruptcy, such as motor vehicles up to a given value, and part of the equity in your home, but you usually have to give up a second car or truck, vacation homes, and adding valuable collections.
Also, not everyone with overwhelming debt qualifies for Chapter 7. If your income is above the median for your state and family size, or you have a home you want to save from foreclosure, you may need to file for Chapter 13 bankruptcy. Chapter 13 is a 3 or 5 year court-approved repayment plan based on your income and debt. If you are able to stick with the plan for its full term, the remaining unsecured debt is discharged. It will take longer than a Chapter 7, but if you are able to keep up with the payment, which a majority of people are not, you will get to keep your property. A Chapter 13 bankruptcy stays on your credit report for 7 years from the filing date. Do-it-yourself debt relief. There is nothing to say you cannot borrow from some of the above-listed debt relief options and create your own plan. You can do what credit consignors do in debt management plans. Contact your creditors, explain why you fell behind and what concessions you need to catch up. Most credit card companies have hardship programs, and they may be willing to lower your interest rates and waive the fees. You can also educate yourself on debt settlement and negotiate an agreement by contacting creditors yourself. If your debt is not unsurmountable, more traditional debt payoff strategies may be available. For example, if your credit score is still good, you may be able to apply for a credit card with 0% balance transfer offer that can give you some breathing room. Or you may find a debt consolidation loan with a lower interest rate. Those options won't hurt your credit. As long as you make the payments, your credit score should rebound. If you go this route, however, it is important to have a plan that will prevent you from running up your credit card debt again. It is also can be hard to qualify for a new card or loan when you are deeply in debt. Let's keep in mind what not to do. Sometimes overwhelming debt comes with devastating swiftness, a health crisis, unemployment, or a natural disaster. Or maybe it came a little at a time, and now creditors and collection agencies are pressing you to pay, and you just cannot. If you are feeling overwhelmed by debt, here are some things not to do. 1. Don't pay a secured debt late in order to pay an unsecured one. You could lose the collateral that secured the debt. For example, don't be late for your car payment in order to pay your hospital bill or a credit card. You may lose your car. Don't borrow against the equity in your home. You are putting your home at the risk of foreclosure, and you may be running unsecured debt that could be whipped out in bankruptcy into secured debt that cannot. Don't withdraw money from your retirement saving in order to repay unsecured debt. This is financial suicide. Think twice about borrowing money from workplace retirement accounts as well. If you lose your job, the loans can become inadvertent withdrawals and trigger a tax bill, which is the last thing you need. Don't make a decision based on which collectors are pressuring you the most. That may lead to actions that are not in your best interest. Instead, take time to research your options and choose the best one for your situation. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching. That is all for today. I hope you found today's video helpful. If you like my video, please drop a like button. If you like my contents, please subscribe my channel for more future videos. I will see you next time.